Okay, I'm just checking through some of your tweets here on the Shell Petroleum reported oil theft in Nigeria last year, and folks who are really good with mathematics are coming through. Abiloro says they are now reported Shell Nigeria oil theft was 197.1 million US dollars. That's quite some money on the table. And we got one of our viewers also who I'll try to put it up in Naira terms. That's Andofa Shija says that amounts to about 70.9 billion naira a year. So Shell reported about 71 billion naira of oil, crude oil that was stolen last year alone. That's quite a lot of money, almost 71 billion naira. Thank you folks. Keep watching the program. Send us your thoughts and comments. You know where to find us on Twitter at Channels TV, or you can put it at Bees Morning. That's the Twitter account for the show. And of course, you can just tag me along here at B Boson, where I mind your business. Let's mind the business of commodities a little bit. And Damilare Adesola is here from Financial Derivatives Company. She's one of the economists in the research team who tracks the commodities market here and around the world for us on Tuesdays and on Thursdays, in case you just joined the show. Good morning. It's good to have you.
Good morning, both.
I'm always interested in what is burning, and what actually burned was Lafarge. Lafarge burnt more than 34 billion naira. Yeah. Net loss. I couldn't sleep all through the night. Each time I think of how does one single company report a net loss of what you can use to set up about 2 to 3 banks. I'm sure the central bank will be envy and said, if I get that money, I could set up 3 new banks.
Well, I guess it's as the person who you interviewed before said, it was mainly from South Africa. So from their South Africa operations, there was a lot of high operating costs over there, and so that just trickled down to the general.
Maybe competition from South Africa.
Yeah, I think
maybe.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll try and find out more details about that. But again, this is quite significant.
Yes, it is. I think that's why the stock market actually lost 1% yesterday, just because of that, because of the negative market sentiments due to that announcement. And so there was about 150 billion of naira market cap was wiped off
yesterday
as an aftermath of that result.
That's really bad. But folks were asking me yesterday about these cement companies, and they're still head scratching, that the cost of cement per bag at close to 3,000 is worrisome. And they're asking me, as a business journalist, hold on, Bosin, who's buying cement?
Well, I mean, right now, that's a really good question. I mean, if you look at the construction sector, actually, the construction sector in Q4 grew compared to the 3 consecutive quarters. From Q1 to Q3, it contracted, but in Q4, it expanded.
Who's buying cement? Maybe that's the government buying cement.
Well,
yeah, I'm sure Ambode buys a lot of cement.
The government, as well as a lot of
Lagos State buys a lot of cement.
Yes, well, because of their infrastructure and the road works that they do.
Yes.
But I think also even the real estate sector as well, although it's still in contraction, but the rate of contraction decreased in Q4. So we expect as we go on into 2018, as activity expands and the government starts spending, we expect that, you know, that there would be a ripple effect.
Even as the real estate market is still in negative territory or in recession, I came back from Abuja last week, and I still saw folks are still building mighty houses, and you find several estates that are yet unoccupied for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Some folks told me some 8 years. You have massive estates with posh buildings, not occupied, and just a few drive around, and I just saw that. Some folks are still building.
I think it actually baffles me that most landlords would prefer to have their house empty than to reduce their rents. So I think that is just something that it's a concern, really.
I don't know what type of landlord I will be when I eventually build one. But, but I don't think I'm going to put anything down when it's just tying down money and it's not making progress. But let's move on to other burning economic issues this morning. We can just put that up. Let's talk a little bit about energy. that powers the consumer, the manufacturing. The PMI for March came in very nice on all fronts. So
Yes.
you think we're resolving, you folks think we're resolving some of our energy issues right now, whether it is
But
petrol,
I think we've
diesel?
moved on from looking at the national power output from the grid. We've moved on to a higher average. So throughout this year, our average at the moment is about 3,009 megawatts compared to last year when it was about 3,600. So I think that is good. That is positive. It means that we're, even if it's only about 300 and it's still miles away from our consumption, which is about 6,000, but it's still a baby step in the right direction. But I think that definitely it's having an impact on the increase. We've moved away from that fuel scarcity and diesel scarcity, and now there's a lot of petrol and diesel on the market, so we're seeing the price of that stabilize. We saw the average price of diesel decrease, according to the report last month, to 210. So that's good for the power and also the manufacturing sector, which uses a lot of power.
I just want us to put that up again on the screen. I will just get to that. But if you look at, this is basically what is much in the good news, isn't it?
Yes, yeah, no, actually.
Well, it have a good news in terms of the...
It's a good news if you look at the big picture, but if you're just looking at day-to-day, it dipped, actually. It's now below 4,000. Usually we look at 4,000 as the threshold, as where it's a good or bad. So it's below 4,000, and so that's a concern. But we expect that it's just maybe... Right now, there's a project that is going on to get a pipeline from Afako to Abuja, I think, then to Kano. So once all those sort of projects get going, it's going to improve the gas supply to GenCos, which is really the constraint. If you look at the chart, you see that the gas constraint is really the major issue. Really,
okay, we're going to put that up very quickly. That's the next page. If we get the production team to put that up, so we get our viewers to benefit from that. Okay, here we go. That's the total gas constraint at about 1,483 megawatts per hour.
Yes. So that's really what it is. So it's the GenCos are having so somewhere down the line, when in the transportation of this gas, there's a disruption, or there's I can't remember the word. There's a technical word that is used for that. But
I wish I'm in the gas business to help you.
For the loss of gas in the transportation.
Yes.
So that is really what the issue is with the GenCos, and so they themselves are now constrained in the amount of power that they can actually transfer to the distributors.
So I'm looking at the water constraint here, and we had a very heavy rainfall here in Lagos yesterday. It cooled down the temperatures a little bit. Yeah, that's
so as we move on to
so you think this will help hydro as we get into the...
definitely. As we move on to the rainfall, we expect to see an increase in hydroelectricity output. So that would be good overall for... Because
this constraint at 190 megawatts is quite a lot. But if we look at what we're losing in Naira terms, that's about 1.18 billion local currency. And that little chart there keeps showing, yes, we had a peak sometime, but then it looks like we're just coming back. Okay, so thank you, folks. That's the orange.
It's really just a seesaw. We've just moved up and down, but there's been a floor now. I don't think it's gone below about 3,800 in a while. So it's just going 3,800.
Here we go. I'm looking at it on the screen, less than 4,000, which is the bar on the far right, which is 4,104. Around January the 4th, now to less than 4,000, 3,998.
Yeah.
Ooh. Okay. Let's get back to the consumer goods, and this sometimes coming to... I see that the price of something's happening at the price of flour all over again, and in terms of the price market survey, it looks like flour is the only one. The price is trending higher. Are we eating more bread or pastries? Do you eat any of those things?
Yes, I do, but I don't think it was a demand push. I think it's just there was initially an introduction of a discount earlier in the year, so I think they've just removed that discount. Also, if you see, they've discontinued
by the producers?
The 52 kg. Yes, it's the producers.
Why did they remove that? Any idea?
I guess it's just maybe just the cost, and just so it was initially introduced during the festive season, and so I guess after that is done, they've just...
So the flour prices is up about 5.3%.
Yeah, to 10,000 naira for a 50 kg bag.
Hold on, break my heart. They've discontinued the 52 kg bag?
Yes, so they're doing the 52 kg bag and selling it at the price of 50 kg. So it was a sort of discount for us, but now...
And I was all happy here and clapping for them when I heard just a few months ago that we had a 52 kg bag of flour, and I'm going to pay the price of 50 for 52. 52. Now the 2 kg is being removed, and I have my 50 kg bag, and the price is up.
Yes.
And you folks said it's a disguised discount.
Yes, the 52 kg bag was a disguised discount, but now that that's been removed, so it's the price has gone up now.
I'm upset. But let's move on. I'm upset with that. I want my 2 kg back. I just tell those folks to bring back my 2 kg. On the 50 kg, I want my 2 kg back. But again, if you look, you talk about the market yesterday, and some folks, our viewers, are asking questions, what happened at the stock market yesterday? Whether the market actually went down because the president announced that he was going to run for second time. Of course, as you have heard. No. It was because Lafarge spoke the market yesterday. And if you look at just very early as we start the market yesterday morning, Lafarge share price went down almost 10%. And we told you here in the morning, didn't we? 10:30 a.m. yesterday, just about this time yesterday, 24 hours ago, before the announcement hit the market, Lafarge numbers that came over the weekend, folks just woke up on Monday and they said, oh my God, what happened to Lafarge? 34 billion naira loss, and just a massive sell down. And even Lafarge finished off yesterday a negative 7.24%, dragged its main rival, even Dangote Cement, down by 1.14%. That's what happened yesterday. It has little or nothing to do with President Buhari second term announcement. But of course, we're still watching the market, whether the market will have anything to say. But what we're looking at on the screen right now is the share price of some of the consumer goods in the market when it comes to food side of it, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that also took a beating.
Well, so majorly it was just Unilever, but then all the other ones either stayed flat or they increased. But if you look at the year-to-date figures, we see that most of them are actually still doing well.
Yeah, Flamix is a new at 36.50, and Honeywell went up. Those are the folks I'm upset with when it comes to this 52 kg thing. I'm going to keep singing it until I get the 2 kg back. But finally, we've got about 2 minutes to look at what does sesame seeds do, and that's what we're wrapping up. I need some more sesame seeds in my meal.
Yeah, it's actually very healthy. It's a very healthy. So that's why if you look at the largest importers of sesame seed, you look at the Asian countries like China and Japan, and so some people think, okay, maybe that's the reason why they look young and they live much longer. But I think, yeah, so they
found the secret of looking young.
They have a lot of their herbal medicines and traditional medicines actually have sesame seed as one of the secret ingredients.
We have it in Nigeria.
We do. We're actually one of the largest producers, and it's actually our largest export of non-oil export sesame seed. So most of what we produce about 461,000 tons. Most of what we produce, we export it because I guess Nigerians don't really have a taste for sesame seed, except maybe when you sprinkle it on pastry or sprinkle it on bread. I don't think we use it for anything. Yeah, I don't think we use it for anything more than that. We're not really into sesame oil because it's also used for oil. We're more for vegetable oil and palm oil. But so we export most of what we produce. So it's actually a good, but we're still under our potential outputs. Potential outputs is about 1 million, and we're currently doing 460. So it's.
Do you take sesame seeds?
Well, because they have.
I want to find out the secret of you're looking young, but if not, well, I think we got to go find after the show. Let's go find some sesame seeds, and I want to look even not much younger than Desola from Damilare from Financial Derivatives Company. It's good to have you here. And thanks for giving me the secret of the sesame seeds. Here you have it here on Channels Television. Looks younger. The show is not getting younger. We're 30 minutes. Let's take a break. We'll be right back.